Cinderella, written and created by Jenne Saunders. Once upon a time, a magical storybook opened, revealing a tale shimmering with possibility. As dawn broke over an imposing stone manor, the world seemed to hold its breath for what was to come. The first rays of sunlight crept across ancient stones, promising a new day. Inside, Cinderella began her day as always, scrubbing the kitchen floor until it gleamed beneath her hands. The kitchen echoed with the sound of her brush against the stone. She caught a glimpse of her own reflection in the water bucket, warped and wavering, a reminder of her hidden dreams. The image flickered, hinting at the life she longed for. With a gentle touch, Cinderella opened her cherished locket, gazing at her mother's portrait for comfort and strength. The locket glimmered softly in the morning light. A small bird fluttered to the windowsill, and Cinderella, ever kind, shared her meager bread with her feathered friend. The bird chirped gratefully, brightening her morning.
Hello, my friend. I am so happy to see you.
In this grand manor lived Lady Tremaine, a woman whose heart had grown as cold as marble, and her two daughters, who inherited their mother's cruelty but none of her grace. The trio ruled the household with icy authority. The stepsisters spent their mornings admiring themselves in ornate mirrors, lost in their own vanity. Their laughter echoed through the halls as they fussed over every detail. Meanwhile, Cinderella quietly carried a breakfast tray through the grand dining room, careful not to disturb the silence. Her footsteps were soft, almost invisible in the vast space. Lady Tremaine regarded the tray with icy contempt, her gaze sharp and unforgiving as she prepared to pass judgment. The room seemed to grow colder under her stare.
Late again, Cinderella, and look at this presentation. Utterly unacceptable. You'll redo the entire breakfast, and there will be no meal for you until every surface in this manor shines like new.
The stepsisters delighted in Cinderella's misfortune, whispering and laughing with cruel satisfaction at her expense. Their jeers filled the air, making the kitchen feel even lonelier.
Look at her filthy dress. She looks more like a scullery maid than a member of this household.
Cinderella suits her perfectly. She's always covered in cinders and ash. Perhaps we should call her Cinder Girl instead.
Yet, through it all, Cinderella retreated with quiet dignity, refusing to let their words break her spirit. She moved gracefully, her head held high despite the cruelty. She found solace in her mother's locket, a small treasure that reminded her she was loved. The gentle touch brought her comfort in the darkest moments. Suddenly, a royal messenger arrived at the manor's grand entrance, bearing news that would change everything. The sound of hooves and the flutter of a royal banner announced his arrival. The royal invitation was unveiled, announcing a grand ball at the palace, an event that would soon alter Cinderella's fate forever. The golden script shimmered with promise, setting hearts racing throughout the manor. But of course her evil stepmother and evil stepsisters did not want Cinderella to go to the ball, so they made sure they gave her lots of housework to do. Cinderella was heartbroken. She felt so alone. Tears rolling down her face, she decided to go into the garden to get some fresh air. And then suddenly her fairy godmother materializes in the garden, shimmering with a glowing aura. She just glided towards Cinderella, magically. Cinderella recoils in shock and disbelief, like she thought she was dreaming. She took Cinderella's hands to comfort her to take away her pain, as she could sense the heart ache within. Cinderella felt vulnerability and self-doubt, and then she lifted Cinderella's chin gently, saying, Now, my dear, everything is going to be okay." She then took out her crystalline wand, raising it high up in the air with a theatrical gesture. First, she transformed a pumpkin into a crystal carriage, and then with a wave of her wand, she transformed mice into white stallions. Starlight cascades over Cinderella like waterfall. Cinderella's tattered dress dissolved as the magic did its work, revealing a magnificent gown. Glass slippers materialize on her feet that looked like shimmering diamonds. She then told Cinderella, "Remember, my child, when the clock strikes 12, the magic will be no more and everything will return to how it was. So you must leave the palace before the last stroke of midnight." Transformed, Cinderella nodded with deep gratitude. The royal palace glowed magnificently under the moonlight. As Cinderella's carriage arrived, all heads turned to see her. Cinderella ascended the grand staircase gracefully. The grand ballroom was filled with dancing nobles. As Cinderella entered, the crowd parted before her. The prince's face transformed. When she walked into the room, he was totally captivated. The prince and Cinderella eyes met. Their hands touched, and it was love at first sight. And then the prince and Cinderella waltz in perfect harmony to the music. And then suddenly, the clock loudly made its first strike. Cinderella knew then she had to leave as quickly as possible. Then the clock made its second strike. This time it was so loud it echoed throughout the palace. Cinderella ran down the staircase towards her golden carriage. As she ran, she lost one of her glass slippers. But she did not have time to pick it up, so she kept on running, in case the spell broke while she was still in the palace. As she left the palace, her glass slipper laid on the staircase. It shimmered like a giant diamond. The prince's heart was broken that Cinderella left so suddenly, without telling the prince who she really was, ran after her, but only to find the glass slipper she had left behind. Holding it in his hands, he commanded the royal guard to help him go find his future queen. The prince rode out with his loyal royal guards on horseback. He travelled throughout the kingdom. He visited every maiden, but he did not find Cinderella. Then one of his royal guards told him, "There is just one more house on our list." They needed to visit. Of course, this was Cinderella's house. The prince and the royal guard arrived at Cinderella's house. The prince placed the glass slipper on Cinderella's foot, and of course it fit dark. Well, what happened next? Well, of course, a giant grand wedding for all the kingdom, and Cinderella looking like a true queen and a very happy prince. I do hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Kisses, Jenne Saunders.